Hello, namaste, and welcome back, yogis. I am Melinda, and today we continue our Yoga for Manifestation series. And today is going to be a short Hatha practice. So we're going to be holding poses a little bit longer, and we're not going to have so much flow like we would in a normal vinyasa class. And we'll be focusing a little bit more on our alignment and really getting into the posture a little bit deeper. But it is a short flow, so having said that, we won't be there too long today. No props needed for today. If you'd like to have a block for triangle, by all means, go ahead and grab yourself a block. Otherwise, let's just start at the top of our mat in Tadasana. So I'm going to face you to begin, just so you can see what I'm doing with my arms. But let's start by setting our intention. So drawing your hands to heart center, feet about hip width distance apart, toes pointed forward. A little soft bend in the knees just to start. Get comfortable in the posture. Draw your eyes softly down to the ground, to a close if that's comfortable for you. And as we continue our manifestation series, I invite you to think about what it is that you want to set an intention for. And I know we've been doing this throughout our different practices, but it's nice to set either an affirmation or some sort of mantra for your goal. So an example would be, let's say you want to be a little more active. You could say, I am fit and healthy as your affirmation or mantra. Or perhaps you're having financial worries and you say, I am financially free. So making it as if it has already happened. So whatever you set for yourself should be present or past tense, like just letting it come into your heart, not making it future tense, but setting it up as if you were actually there and experiencing this in your body. I am healthy, I am fit, I am financially free, maybe it's something as simple as I am grounded. It doesn't have to be a huge intention, a huge goal. It can be something small, something you want to happen in your life. Let's hold here for just another couple breaths. Repeating your mantra silently to yourself for the next moment. Let's take a collective breath together as we start our practice together, inhaling deeply through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out, sending it out into the universe. Lovely. Blink your eyes open. Draw the light back in, and let's begin our practice. So releasing the arms down, inhale, arms lift up. We're going to take opposite elbows, and it can be forward to begin with. You want to stay grounded in your feet. Begin to draw your shoulders up towards your ears, and then draw your elbows back. Let your ribs flare out for just a moment without putting pressure on the low back. And then begin to draw your navel in towards your spine. So you've got this kind of diametric opposition with arms coming back, navel in, and then pressing elbows into your hands out to the side, but really cupping around them. So you've got all these different small little micro actions going, drawing the tailbone down. Staying here on your inhale, and then exhale, take it over to your right, stretching through your side body. Inhale comes back to center. Then exhale to the other side. Inhale to center, lift your heart, lift your gaze slightly. And exhale, release your shoulders, arms down. Give them a little shrug. And let's take it the other way. So arms lift once again, grabbing the really funky way. It might take you a moment to get into this posture. Again, drawing the tailbone down. Let your shoulders lift up towards your ears. Draw your navel in and press your elbows back and then into your hands. So much to think about, right? Give yourself a nice big smile as you hold here, opening through your heart. Exhale, crescent over to one side. Inhale comes back to center. And exhale, crescent to the other side. Inhale comes back to center. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Oh my goodness, exhale, release the arms down. Shrug your shoulders a few times. It's amazing that little movement, how much work can come into that. Now we're going to move into a forward fold, but we're going to take this a little bit differently. So cross your left foot in front of your right. We're going to lower down, starting with a flat back. Come all the way down. If you want blocks here, by all means, place a block under your hands. And then let your head hang heavy. So coming into this cross-legged variation of Uttanasana. As you inhale, think about lengthening a little bit more in your spine. And then exhale, hinging slightly more to your hips. So you're opening up through the outer hips as well as the hamstrings. A little different sensation than a normal forward fold. And inhale, come on up halfway. Take your left foot, step it behind your right, and we're going to cross our legs the other direction. Lengthening through your heart on the inhale. Exhale, fold it in. Hang out here for the next couple breaths. Probably feeling this pretty strongly through your IT band and outer hip, glutes. Hopefully it feels pretty good to you. One more breath. Inhale, look up halfway, lengthen through your spine, uncross your legs. Let your feet come hip-width distance apart. Let your fingertips come to your shins so you have a nice flat back. Interlace hands behind your low back. And then press your palms together if you can. If you can't, palms can be open. But come up a little bit, shrug your shoulders together, opening through the chest, and exhale, lower down, Uttanasana. If you need a little bend in your knees, by all means, take a little bend in your knees. Let your hands come up towards the ceiling. And then if you're able to pull your palms together, imagine you're squeezing something or cupping something in your palms. So the heels of your hands pulled together. Really broadening through the chest, pressing into the feet firmly and evenly, front to back. Notice I have that little bend in my knees, allows me to get into my hamstrings a little deeper actually. But if you want to come fully straight, by all means do. One more breath. Exhale, bend through both knees, release your hands, come up halfway, lengthening through your spine, and then rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, fingertips lift. Just taking a few rounds of half sun A's. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, flat back, palms meet at high mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that again. Release the fingertips. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Any variation you like. Inhale, lift your heart, look forward. Exhale, fold, perhaps even grabbing for the back of your calves or ankles this time. Inhale, rise up, flat back, coming all the way back up to high mountain pose. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and lower down onto our bellies. So no fancy way to get there. We're going to make our way into a variation of cobra. So letting your fingertips come about the same level as your shoulders. Let your toes walk along. And then as you inhale, begin to lift your heart, pressing into your fingertips. So your arms are wide, hands might be off the mat. And really opening through the chest. If you're having low back pain, come down a little bit. If you want to have a super open collarbone, imagine broadening through your whole chest, your shoulders. Staying here for just one more breath. I know it can be a little tricky. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're going to take this into a shoulder stretch. So bending through your left elbow, so you can see your shoulder and your elbow are in line. My arm's going to be at 90 degrees. You can go a little bit wider than that if you like. And we're going to begin to kind of cup your fingers on the ground. My right fingertips are also cupped. I'm going to let my right temple come onto the mat and my left shoulder head onto the mat. So you might have to finagle around a little bit. And then we're going to begin to roll over as much as is comfortable, if it is at all. But you want to keep the contact of your shoulder head onto the mat to really feel that opening. And imagine you're lifting your left elbow just a tiny little bit. Cup your left fingertips so you're pulling the ground towards you, really deepening into this shoulder stretch. And you may not make it over onto your left hip at all. It might feel good to just bend both knees. So find what feels best for you. One more breath here. I know it's a lot. It's an intense shoulder stretch. Intense pectoral stretch. And exhale, release, come back to center. We're going to switch it out. Right elbow in line with right shoulder. Again, arm at 90 degrees or slightly wider if that feels better. Let your right shoulder head come onto the ground, right cheek onto the mat. Tense your left hand and then begin to press your shoulder head down, perhaps taking that little bit of twist with your left toes behind you. Again, little cupping of the fingers of your right hand, and imagine lifting your right elbow just a sliver, just to feel that opening a little bit more. 2 breaths, my friends. Give yourself a smile. If you're like, this hurts, come out, please. You can take a variation with your arms straight if this is just too much. And exhale, come back to center. Beautiful. Let your arms come down. Palms plant by your ribs. Press up to table. Tuck your toes and send your hips back towards your heels, opening through your feet. Stretch your arms long. Forehead comes down for just a breath. Maybe 2. And then as you're ready, let's make our way into a down dog. Send your hips high. Find an appropriate stance. Hands are about, shoulder width apart. Press into each fingertip, each knuckle. Let the eyes of your elbows spin towards the midline. And you can take a bend in your knees if you want to pedal it out to get out some of those wiggles. Please do. We'll be here for a few breaths. So I always like to start with a little bit of movement in my down dog, a nice deep bend in my knees, just thinking about lengthening my spine. And then as I feel lengthened, I begin to straighten my legs. If I notice I lose some of that, like I start to shift forward, take that bend back in your knees. Maybe do that a few times. You straighten legs, you roll forward a little, you roll back a little. But ultimately coming to a place of stillness, and we'll hold here for the next 3 breaths. Perhaps with each breath, you're saying your mantra to yourself. Maybe once on the inhale, once on the exhale, depending on how long your mantra is. 1 more breath. Now gazing forward, take a little stroll all the way to the top of your mat. Forward fold as you arrive. Inhale, rise all the way up. Prayer hands to the midline. High mountain pose. And exhale, let your prayer hands come back down to your heart. We're going to move into tree pose. So grounding down through your right foot, draw your right hip in. Hands can begin at heart center. And begin to lift your left heel coming to the inside of your right calf. You may stay here, or you can begin to deepen the posture and challenge yourself with your balance, placing your left foot onto your right thigh. And again, just drawing that right hip in, perhaps engaging your pelvic floor and pressing into both your big toe and your pinky toe. Find a spot on the wall not moving. You're welcome to stay with hands at heart center, or if you'd like to add a little bind, interlace hands behind the low back. Begin to lift your chest, just like when we're in Uttanasanas. That same shape with your hands, and then perhaps letting your hands move away from your body, opening through your chest. Feeling that joy and presence in your heart center. 1 more breath. And then exhale, releasing hands to heart center. Follow along with me. Keep your right foot grounded. Release your left foot. Left knee comes forward and then slowly, slowly, slowly steps back to the back of your mat. We're making our way into Warrior 2. So adjust your stance. Take a peek at where your foot is, heel to heel or heel to arch. And then right knee presses out. We're going to modify our Warrior 2. So this is our standard Warrior 2, right? We're going to face the side wall. Let your hands interlace behind your head. Thumbs at the base of your skull. Begin to lift your heart, elbows come wide. Keep pressing your right knee towards the back, towards the right side. Lift your heart. Give yourself a smile. Stay for a breath. 1 more in. 1 more out. Release your arms long. Warrior 2. Straighten through your front leg. Heel toe your back foot in. Moving into triangle pose. Sending your hips all the way back. Lean, 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 lean forward. Draw your right hand down to your right shin. Left hand to your hip. Begin to spin your chest towards the left. I always like to come into triangle with the spin first. And you can keep your hand on your hip. You can take this into a half bind if you want to do a little more left shoulder opening. That might feel actually lovely right now. So I'm going to hang out here. If you want to take traditional triangle, Left fingertips up towards the sky, gaze can follow. Think about spinning your heart opening through the chest, through your shoulders. And then perhaps you begin to sink into your triangle as we hold for the next few breaths, allowing your low ribs to soften to the ground. And if it's not comfortable to gaze up, just keep a nice neutral gaze, or you can always draw your gaze down. Finding your version of triangle today. Begin to release your arm wherever it's at, coming back up to the sky just for one moment. Really lift the heart. And inhale, slowly rise up, little bend in your front knee. And exhale, spin your toes to the back of your mat and step to the back of your mat. We're going to take tree on this side. Grounding into your left foot this time, hands to heart center. Right foot comes to the inside of your left calf or left thigh, avoiding the knee. Once again, grounding down through your big toe and pinky toe. Draw your left hip in, engage your pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. It'll help with the grounding and stability. Find your drishti, something that isn't moving. And then begin to release your hands, interlacing your hands the opposite way this time. Begin to open through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift your heart, and then perhaps move your hands away from your body. There's a lot of motions going on here, so if you fall out, just come back into your tree, no worries. Really strong through your core, smiling through your collarbones and through your actual mouth. Give yourself a little grin and a laugh. And if you fall out, no worries. And then gently release the arms. Woo, come back to the center. Staying in your tree for just another moment. Slowly release your right leg, knee comes forward, and then gradually stepping all the way back. Making our way into our warrior two legs. Finding your alignment, noticing where your left knee is and pushing it towards the pinky edge side of your left foot. A little space under your right arch, right toe slightly angled forward. Notice how that changes the legs. Feel centered in your warrior two. And then spin to the side. Interlace hands the opposite way. Again, supporting your skull with the thumbs. Lift your heart. Give yourself a smile. Literally, figuratively. I'm all about having fun today in this class. Oh, when we open our hearts, we create such joy. The simplest acts of broadening through the chest and smiling, you could create a whole different feeling for yourself for the day. It's amazing how that works. Body and mind linked just as they should be. And then release. Arms to your traditional warrior two for just a moment. Straighten through your front leg. Heel toe your back foot up. Lean forward and send your hips to the back. Lean forward. Left hand lands on left shin. Right hand to your waist. And begin to take the twist towards your right. Arm variation options. You can stay here. You can take that little half bind, perhaps even drawing your right fingertips towards your left hip, opening through the heart. This is my variation for today. Just to get that little bit of chest opening. If you prefer, right fingertips can come straight up. And if you are looking up, see if you can see your hand. If you're like over here in space, bring your arm forward a little bit. And you can always come up out of the triangle position with your left hand a little bit to add that space to make the twist. And then begin to soften in. So just notice what feels best for you. If you're in this half bind, is that a lot? But just think about spinning your heart towards the sky. 2 more breaths. Keep smiling. And release your right fingertips back up. Little bend through your front knee. Rise all the way up. Step to the top of the mat. Hands to heart center. Release your palms down and just pause, perhaps closing your eyes here. Noticing all the sensations in your body, all the energy you created through this heart opening today. Coming back to your mantra, repeating it to yourself. And open your eyes. Let's make our way onto our bellies for one final pose before coming to our backs. We're We're going to make our way either into locust or upward facing bow if you are feeling that today. So walking your toes long, we're going to begin to let your hands come back down by your sides, palms face down. And then as you inhale, you'll begin to lift palms, head, neck, and shoulders, and toes, squeezing your shoulder blades together on your back. If you're going to take upward facing bow, you're going to bend through both knees, grabbing for your feet, your ankles. Maybe you're super flexy, you want to grab your shins. You're going to begin to press your ankles or feet into your hands and lift your heart. So the action is really in the pressing of your feet into your hands and creating this open shape. We'll be here for 3 breaths. And if it feels too much, just come down a little bit. It doesn't have to be your deepest bow ever. 1 more breath in. Exhale and begin to release down onto the mat. Place your palms on your forehead. Give your hips a little wiggle side to side. And then begin to make your way onto your back. Just rolling over right where you're at. Let's take a final pose of class. Your choice. Maybe you want a supine twist. I'm going to come into a happy baby today, just because I feel like I need that little bit of hip opening, and I love to rock my baby. Love to rock my happy baby. And I like to grab for big toes, but wow, let's try that again. I'm coming into happy baby today. Perhaps taking a little rock with your happy baby. If you're joining me, and 1 more breath. If you took the supine twist, make sure you take it in both directions. And then releasing your feet, coming back to center, drawing shoulder blades under, palms face the sky. Let your toes play out. Then take these next few moments to relax into your savasana. Feeling all the vibrant energy course through your body. This is such a wonderful morning practice to cultivate joy for your day, to bring in some energy and some vibrancy. Perfect for those days when you're sluggish, you've got all that excess Hatha energy, and it helps to just move the lymphatic system and really engage our body's garbage disposal, getting rid of all the junk we don't need and bringing in the joy that we do. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. If you're ready to come out of your shavasana, gently press onto one side and make your way up to seated. And I will end our class here today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's end our practice with a prayer for peace, bringing hands to heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Have a wonderful, blessed day, yogis. Namaste.